What's the secret behind every catchy tune you love? It's all about musical intervals. Eyup FretHeads, so what the heck are intervals, Ricky? They're the secret building blocks behind all the music we hear in songs. The fact of the matter is, knowing this stuff will make playing guitar easier. It'll help your ears pick out melodies dead easy and enable you to work out your favourite songs super quick. This is a shortcut to stop you being stuck in a slow, long learning rut. You'll fumble with chords and blindly fudge notes as you try and guess where the notes are on your fretboard otherwise. In this video, I'll break down how to recognise intervals by ear and transfer them onto your guitar fretboard so that you don't get lost again. I'll also show you how intervals apply to chords, and there's homework.
Please, no! No!
So make sure you download the free lesson PDF in the video description below. If you're ready, before I share what could be a pivotal moment in your guitar journey, hit the like, it's free and it helps me out. So what are intervals? Intervals are the gaps between two notes. The difference between the gaps creates tension or stability, giving each interval its own distinct personality. The simplest way to see and hear them is a single guitar string and create what I call the interval seesaw. You've got to see this. We'll go up one fret and one interval at a time so you can see where the intervals live on the fretboard. Then I'll jump over to the guitar so you can hear the personality of each interval. We'll also listen to where they've been used in famous tunes. So what we're going to do to model the interval seesaw is we're going to use a guitar string. So there's a guitar string. This also works on piano and every other instrument. I've got to divide this into frets. Now you can see I've got 13 gaps. We're going to start on the root as being the home note. The root is the starting note, and what's going to happen is, as the intervals get wider, we're going to go up a half step or one fret every time until we get to the end of the string. I'm going to add some colour as well so you can see things clearly and you'll see a pattern emerge. So this doesn't drag on, I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to show you the root note an octave higher. And I'm just going to put an 8 in there and then VE to show octave. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the note names underneath these intervals so that you can refer them to the guitar or your piano. So now you can see that the root is C and the octave is also C. Let me colour those in. Now we've got the root and the octave, we want to think of these guys as being bookends. This becomes important later on when you want to work out chord, scale and arpeggio formulas. So you can see we have note names along the bottom and we're going to use numbers along the top. If the root is the first note, then the next number that comes after 1 is going to be 2. But there's a curious thing that happens with the 2. This first interval jumping from the root note to the second, this is called a minor second. And this introduces an idea that major and minor intervals travel in pairs. They're always next door to each other. They are neighbour notes. Now because we have minor here, we have to have major 1 fret higher. So this would be another form of second, and it would be the major second. And because these travel in pairs, I'm going to put a circle around that there so you can see they are a pair. A major interval is always a half step higher than a minor interval. Let's colour this one in. Now if we follow the next logical number that we can get after 2, it's going to be 1, 2, then we get a kind of 3. And just like the minor and the major second, we get a minor and a major third. This follows the rule that majors and minors are neighbour notes. Notice that the distance between the root and the major third is bigger than the distance between the root and the minor third, and the same applies to any other minor and major interval distance. Now the next note we get is something called a perfect fourth. This would make sense because following the logical sequence that we have of 1, 2, 3, the next number is going to be 4. However, we only have 1 here. This is because the distance between the root and the fourth is said to be perfect. I'll just put a P above to represent perfect. This is going to become important once we get a little bit further up, and you'll start to see something that I call a dissonance sandwich. Now, similar to a major and a minor, if we take a perfect fourth and we want to raise it, we have to sharp it instead. And this gives us this interval here. The sharp 4 is really important. This is also known as a tritone. The reason being, if we go from the root note here and we go up a tone, another tone, and another tone, we can see we've gone 3 tones altogether, and that's why it's called a tritone. After the 4, you've guessed it, we're going to have 5. We're going to call this a perfect fifth. We'll just put P5 there. This reveals the dissonant sandwich. The perfect fourth and the perfect fifth are considered to be consonant intervals. However, the sharp 4 and its enharmonic equivalent, the flat fifth, are considered to be dissonant. Because these are dissonant and they don't sound stable, let's put this yellow colour in here. I imagine that the perfect fourth and the perfect fifth are really nice slices of bread, but what we've done is we've put a lemon slice inside to make a lemon slice sandwich. Let's colour those perfect intervals in. Now you can see where that perfect sandwich lives, and the pattern is starting to emerge, but let's carry on the sequence. The next note we have after the 5 is going to be a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get a 6 here. Now, something happens here that you'll notice. The tritone becomes the pivot point for the seesaw. And what you'll see now as I go through the rest of this, the pattern emerges and it becomes a balanced seesaw image. This 6 is called a minor sixth, and as we know, major and minor intervals travel in pairs. So the next note up is going to be a major sixth. After 6 comes 7, you've guessed it, and then we are going to have 2 7s. We're going to have a minor 7th, and we also get a major 7th, because, yet again, major and minors are neighbour notes and they travel together. So as you can see, we have a balanced image here. We can move backwards and we can see that we get complementary intervals as we move towards the pivot note, which is the sharp 4 or flat 5. This is further demonstrated if we come back from this octave in tones, we will get another tritone. So we get 2 tritones for the octave. As well as these names here, like minor second, minor third, major third, we also get scale formula numbers that you will find useful. I'll write them above. A minor second can also be known as a flat second. A major second would just be a second. A minor third would be a flat third. A major third would be a third. A perfect fourth would just be a 4. The tritone can either be a sharp 4 or a flat 5. The fifth is normally just called a fifth. The minor sixth is also known as a flat 6. A major sixth is just a 6. A minor 7 is a flat 7, and a major 7 is usually just called a 7. Understanding the interval seesaw can help with so many things like inverting intervals, understanding complementary intervals. So let's put this together on guitar. I'm going to be starting on this C note here and using the A-shaped octave to contain them. This is the minor second, and this is the theme you might recognise. This is the major second, and this is the theme that you might know. This is the minor third, and this is the theme you might recognise. We can also play it on the next string as well. This is the major third. This is the major third on one string. And this is the major third crossing onto another string. This is the perfect fourth, and here's the theme. Here's the perfect fourth on a single string. Here it is crossing strings. This is the sharp 4, also known as the flat 5 or the tritone. This is the theme. This is the tritone on one string. This is the tritone crossing strings. This is the perfect fifth, and this is the theme. This is the perfect fifth on one string. This is the perfect fifth on two strings. This is the minor sixth. We're going to use the third and the fourth note from this theme. This is the minor sixth on one string. This is the minor sixth on the next string. We can also play jump into the G string. This is the major sixth, and this is the theme. This is the major sixth on the same string. This is the major sixth bridging two strings. A bit stretchy. Here it is jumping over onto the G string. This is the minor seventh, and this is the theme. This is the minor seventh on one string. Here it is jumping over onto that G string. This is the major seventh, and this is the theme. This comes from Willy Wonka, Pure Imagination. This is the major 7 on one string. Here it is jumping from the A string to the G string. This is the octave, and this is the last theme we're going to look at. And this is what this looks like on one string. And this is what it looks like when we cross from the A string to the G string. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but you need to be able to not only see these intervals and how they relate to the major scale, you'll need to see how they relate to the easiest way to memorize scale formulas, and this video here shows you how.